Hey guys, it's the presenter here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to integrate some knowledge into this video. And that knowledge that I'm going to integrate is about integration. As you can see, I'm a little bit obsessed about that word at the moment. Integration. Just including one thing and another thing, putting them together. It's awesome. Like maybe for lunch I might integrate a sandwich into my digestive system for lunch. Looking forward to that. A little bit hungry. But first I'm gonna show you how to integrate things. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be using multiple types of software, so different programs, to create a document. So let's say we use Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word to create something. So we put the Excel content into Word. If you've done level 2, you've done this before, you know how to do it. If that's the case, just go ahead and do it. You don't really need this video. We'll also be looking at a couple of ways that we can format our images, just a little bit more detail. So like how to get a bunch of images together and how to group them so that they become one big image. That's pretty handy if you need to resize a whole bunch of things at once, or you want two images to stay together forever. Or not forever, you can ungroup them if you want, but it just sounds so ominous when I say that. Forever. So, have a watch of this vid. We'll learn a few things. Maybe even have a look at some file management stuff as well. I know you've learnt a lot about file management throughout the course of your education here at Capital Training, but it never hurts just to revisit it, because file management is just so important these days, you know. With a lot of our information becoming digital, we have to be able to manage that and find ways of keeping our data in order. Imagine the internet. Yeah? Imagine if the internet was actually in a physical space. Okay, so in a little room, little hard drives in it, and it's the internet. Now imagine if all of the data of the internet was in this one room, but it wasn't managed. People just put whatever data wherever they liked. Now imagine having to go into that room and find, say, the data file of a kitten wearing a hat eating an ice cream. Out of all the billion gigs, I assume, of the internet, you have to find that one little data file, and it's not been file managed. You have no idea where to start. That would be awful. That's quite an extreme example of why file management is important, but I think it works. Yeah, why not? Anyway, let's crack into it, eh? Okay, so firstly, with integration, I've explained what it is. It's very easy to do, okay? I've written this document in Microsoft Word, and I've used it a few times in examples. It's like my go-to, I think. I've also created the spreadsheet just now, okay? It's not a very good looking spreadsheet, and it doesn't really have to be. We can use the data from this spreadsheet as well as this text, integrate the two in order to create a document, okay? A good document. All we have to do is we hit copy, go into the document that we want it into, paste special, and we just choose what type of file it is, okay? Now, we know that it's an Excel worksheet, so we just hit OK. So we've integrated that Excel spreadsheet into this document, okay? And how we would know it would work is if we alter a number in Microsoft Excel, we can automatically update that so that that's reflected in this spreadsheet as well in the Word document. We can also integrate images into our documents. We know how to do this. I'm going to get rid of this placeholder. You go insert, picture, and just find the picture that you want. You know, let's go with oh no. That turns out to be Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone. Maybe a little bit before your guys' time, but I liked it as a kid. He was awesome. He was like a bit of a hero of mine when I was, 6 or 7 years old. He was the man. Okay, so there's a few things that we can do with graphics, okay, that might be of interest to us. We know how to format the images, okay, but let's have a look at some different things we can do. We can put in different types of edges to our images. We can go into corrections and change how they look, okay, some of the colors. There's also color here where you can change the color. Let's make that purple. That looks awful. And then let's make it look like it's paint strokes. That is actually legitimately terrifying, eh? Now, if you're having trouble moving your image, okay, it's sort of like acting a bit funky, what I tend to do is I go wrap text, and I quite often either pick square so that you move it and it can move the text, and it's sort of square with the text, or what I do is I sort of define while I'm creating the document where I want the image to be. I leave a space for it and I put it behind text, okay? And why I do that is because, let's say I want to put another shape there. I want to put a speech bubble. You may have noticed through the modules I do this quite often. I'll have like a little picture of someone and then a speech bubble of them saying something. Now you can change the color. I usually go no fill. The outline, I usually go green or black. Green, capital training color. Black, easy to see, okay? You can play with the effects. You can give it sort of like a 3D rotation or bevel it. Sort of looks god awful. I tend to just stay away from that sort of thing. Now let's say, oh no. Well, I've typed something in there and it's invisible. I'm going to have to highlight it and just set the text to black, okay? Maybe make that a bit bigger. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So what I've done, you've seen me resizing the image. I've formatted it a little bit, changed the color, wrapped it, okay, so I've put it behind text, and that's just so that I can do a lot of stuff with it, okay? Let's say that in here, I don't really like that there's purple in my speech bubble. It looks a little bit average. I just format that shape, and instead of going no fill, I turn it to white. So it doesn't look like it's made much of a change, but down here, instead of having purple in that bit of speech bubble, it's now white. I've defined that I want that color to always be white instead of always clear. Now, what happens if, say, I need to move this image and this shape to a different page, but I want them to stick together? What do I do then? What I do is I go into Format and I hold Shift and select all the images that I want, and then I go Group. And what that does is it says, okay, I want these shapes and images to be a group. I want them to hang out, be besties. Okay? I want them to be able to be moved together and to be resized together. You see how they're just sticking together like that? That's what grouping is, and it can be really handy, okay? If you're making shapes and pictures like this. So, have a bit of a play. You're going to have to do a little bit of this. So I'd say, as a practice, open up a document, create a stick figure man. So you need like a little circle for the head. Okay. You need some lines, body. What I'll do is I'll right click, go into Format Shape, make that line thicker. Okay. What I might do is just Control C, Control V. Move those over here. And then I can hit the little circles and define what I want them to be. So I want those to be arms. So change the angle a bit, change the size, that's easy enough. This is all common sense stuff, stuff that you've played with before, maybe in Microsoft Paint or anything like that. Okay. So now that's not grouped, so if I change the shape or size of one shape, it's not going to affect the others. But if I hold Shift, select everything, Format, Group, now it's one image. Now I can change the size and shape of everything in one go. I've made a little stick figure dude, and I want you to do the same, okay? Sussed. Now, as part of this, you're also going to have to create a merge, okay? You might not necessarily have to run it, but you're going to have to create it. Okay, so we know how to run mail merges. We go Mailings, Start Merge. But to create one, what we want to do is go Select Recipients, type New List. And that brings this bad boy here up. Okay? So let's say we want them to have a first name, Brock, Strongo, and they're from Masterton. Okay. Now what I can do is I can customize my columns. So I've used first name, last name and city, but not any of the other ones. So I'm going to delete all of the ones that I don't use, just to make it easier for myself later on, and just to get rid of the clutter of unnecessary, I guess, columns. What's really good with this as well is you can actually make your own columns. So you can make your own data sets and really put your own touch on a mail merge. So you just hit add, type in a name for your field, okay, TV show, okay, so now you'll see that we've got first name, last name, city, TV show, let's say Lost, and then you've just got to hit new entry. So Susan Sarandon. I've put Sarandon in first name. Sarandon from Hamilton. Favourite TV show can be The News. We'll do one more new entry. We'll go Big Bird from Huntley. Favourite TV show can be, let's say, NCIS Miami. Because why not, I guess, okay? Then you hit OK. Then you're going to get asked to save it somewhere. What I would do is I would save it with the rest of your work from this module. Alright? Keep it with the document that you're using. Okay? So let's say you've got a folder called Level 3 Work. And in this folder you have a few subfolders. Let's say one of them is called Word Docs. And you've got another one called Excel Docs and all sorts, okay? Because we're working with a Word document, I'll just save it in here and call it whatever the name of your document is. Database. I'm going to call this Practice Database because I'm doing this so you can practice. Save. And so now, if we were going to start mail merge, step-by-step mail merge wizard, letter, use current document. When it gets to select recipients, we browse, we go into that file that we made. So using our file management system, whichever one you're running with, Word Docs, Practice Databases, we'll see here the list that we just made, okay? So we've got Brock Strongo, Susan Sarandon, Big Bird. We just made this. Then you hit OK. So we go start mail merge, step-by-step mail merge wizard. Okay, start the document, use our current document, use an existing list. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to find where we saved that database. We know where we saved that database because we have good file management. Okay? We open it up, and here's the list that we just made. Here's the database list. So we hit OK, write the letter. This is where we put in our fields. So first name, blah, blah, blah. Put first name in there twice, hit a space. Last name, insert, maybe go a few enters, city, insert, a few more enters, hit in TV show, insert. Then what we'll do is we'll go preview our letters, complete the merge, edit individual letters, you hit OK. And this is where you can preview all of your documents for all of the data entries that you made. So it puts them all into one document. And we also, if we click off preview results, have our template, the pre-made one. And I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty cool. Alright? So, to end up this glorious excursion into education, what we're going to do is just have a look at file management. I know that you know this. You know that I know that you know this. I know that you know that I know that you know this, and so on and so forth. But let's just have a look at it anyway, okay? We know that for all of our work, we should say level, let's have a look at level 2, okay? Level 2, we've got folders for the induction, module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. Alright? What I've done is I've created one folder with a lot of subfolders in it. And it's very easy to tell what would be in each folder. So let's say module 2 has the module and the marking schedule. Module 5 has module 5 in it and the marking schedule. Yeah, I've created a file management system which I can easily navigate and which anyone else can easily navigate. What you would do is have level 3 work. You'd have, and maybe your tutor will have an easier way of managing files for you that they can discuss with you. But what I would do is I would just have, you know, the different programs that you use and then save your files into it that way, and save your files with an appropriate name. So if you're writing a file about the Girl in the Sea newsletter, you would call it the Girl in the Sea newsletter. If you're creating that in Publisher, you'd create it in your Publisher folder that you've created. If it was in Microsoft Word, you would save it in the Microsoft Word folder. So really, you're just creating, think of it as like a little tree, okay? Your main folder is the base of that tree, and you're creating branches as you go up. And it's on these branches that you hang your documents, okay? Where you put your documents in. So that's really easy. We know how to search for documents. So if I've lost something, I know that I can just search for it, and I can search up the name of the folder. Okay, so it looks like that's not in my documents. What, is it anywhere on my computer? Let's search. Nope, on the computer. Ah, here's an image. Yep, that's the file I'm looking for. Or we can just use this guide on the side here, you know, the file tree. So I know that that file is just sitting on my desktop. But let's say it's in my documents folder, and I'm looking for, let's say, level 2 module 5 marking schedule. I know that it's just in level 2 module 5 marking schedule. Easy enough. But wait, there's more. I can actually pop in a summary box onto my documents to just help with finding files. And those summary box can have keywords. So in that summary box I could say, well, this document is about horses. So a keyword that I'd put there is in horses. So in that search bar, if I were to type in horses, it would bring that file up, even though the file could be called something different because it's a keyword. You can also put in an author, so you can say, well, I wrote this document, so I'm going to put my name there. And you can also put in a few comments. So comments, you really just want to keep it brief, just a brief description of what the file is. Okay, so a nice quick way of doing that is you open the folder that the document is in, alright, and you say, alright, let's go right click properties. That brings up this little box, okay? Now, you can actually lock this from being edited, but a lot of documents, they won't be locked. So what you want to do is you hit details, and here is where you can pop in, say, an author. So I'm the presenter, so I'm going to put in that name. Cool. Comments. Well, this document is an unfinished example. Sweet, I've put in a comment. That's really easy, eh? Tags are keywords. Example. We've got Dungeons and Dragons. Okay? So what that's done is I've put in tag, okay, tagged some keywords in there so it makes it easier to search for. I've popped in some comments about that document, and I've put in the author. That's awesome. You can also change a fair few other details, okay? You can put in a title of the document. You know, the subject, it's about horses or it's about Dungeons and Dragons. Category, you can make any category you want. That'll be part of your file management. Yeah, if you've revised the document a few times, you can say, well, this is my third attempt at this document. The company is Capital Training. Cool? Then you hit apply. Okay. And that's how you do a summary box, guys. Nice and easy. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you and presenting it to you. Have a go at the next few exercises, and good luck. I'll see you around.